Obama. You pull up New Hampshire here on our board.
Which should be blue.
Okay, and let's take a look first. Highly educated voters, that's always been a good category for Barack Obama.
That's right. Voters with a postgraduate degree, the top of the educational category. This was one of the top groups that delivered for Barack Obama. 70% for Barack Obama. I mean, they are going to New Hampshire. It's a very high-tech state. This is a very big breakthrough for Democrats to do that well with postgraduate educated voters.
Wolf was talking about the dismay that John McCain must feel, especially when he was really targeting those independents. But you see, they're blue here, which means they went for Barack Obama.
That's right. The top groups are the most, whereas Obama had the biggest advantage, and his advantage shrinks a little bit until you get to the middle. Independents, blue, they voted 60% for Barack Obama, 38% for McCain. A big disappointment. They're the fastest growing group in the New Hampshire electorate.
Men was a category that Barack Obama was targeting hard and had to do well in.
And men in most states have voted Republican, but here in New Hampshire, by a slight margin, 52 to 47, they went for for Barack Obama over John McCain.
So pretty close there, but everywhere else, as you can see,
blue,
Barack
blue,
Obama,
blue,
a
right?
lot of blue on that map.
Just a few red categories in New Hampshire.
Which means Barack Obama taking New Hampshire. Bill, thank you. Wolf, you can see it right there in the map.
All right, so thanks very much. I want to take a look at some numbers coming in, ballots coming in, and some Senate races that we're watching very closely. Let's start in the state of Virginia. We've already projected that Mark Warner, the former Democratic governor of Virginia, will win this contest against the former Republican. 59% so far for Warner, 39% for Gilmore. 36% of the precincts in Virginia have reported. This is a pickup because this Warner will replace John Warner, the Republican, no relation, as the next senator from Virginia. In Kentucky right now, with 39% of the precincts reporting, look at how close it is. The Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, with 51%. Bruce Lunsford, the challenger, 49%. Very, very close. We are in no position to make a projection in Kentucky. This is one race that the Democrats have worked very hard to capture. Mitch McConnell fighting for his political life right now. In North Carolina, look at this, 8% of the precincts have reported. Kay Hagan has been challenging Elizabeth Dole, the incumbent Republican. Kay Hagan ahead by 57% to 40%, but only 8% of the precincts are in. Kay Hagan making a very, very strong challenge. Elizabeth Dole fighting for her political life as well. And in New Hampshire, a similar situation. John Sununu is the incumbent Republican. Jeanne Shaheen, the former Democratic governor, popular, very popular. 9% of the precincts have reported. 56% for Jeanne Shaheen. John Sununu, 41%. She's ahead by almost 10,000 right now, with almost 10% of the precincts in. This is a race that we're watching very closely as well. Let's go back to Campbell. And John King, I think you're looking at North Carolina right now. Is that right, Campbell?
We're going to look at all of these races because we are getting a little bit of more information as we look more closely at the counties. And we're not calling any of them, as you mentioned yet, Wolf, except for the Mark Warner win in Virginia. But let's take a look at North Carolina.
North Carolina, you see it. The red is the counties filling in for Senator Dole. The blue, the county's filling in for her challenger, Kay Hagan. This is one of the key counties in the state of North Carolina. Mecklenburg County, it's almost 9% of the state population. African-American population there, but also, Campbell, the banking community that's been a lot of trouble there because of the financial meltdown. Wachovia Bank headquartered right there. A lot of economic issues there. Senator Dole is at the moment not performing as strongly as she needs to in Mecklenburg County. You come out here to the more Democratic counties and Hagan running. These are early results. Well, these counties, 72% out here. If the Democrat is winning out here, then the Democrats are in pretty good shape. But we'll watch the rest of these results as we come in. I want to go north to this. This race is a blowout, but I want to show something here. This is the state of Virginia. Right. This was a Republican state not all that long ago. Look what Mark Warner is doing to former governor Jim Gilmore. Jim Gilmore is not a nobody candidate. He was a former governor of this state in the past decade, and this is a blowout. The Republican Party in the state of Virginia is going to be having a long talk with itself about what to do
Which
next.
bodes well for Obama in Virginia.
Certainly
as we
does.
Wait for those numbers
Certainly
as well.
does. Now, Warner has his own personal popularity because Mark Warner left as such a popular governor, but the Republican Party of Virginia has a long, many months ahead trying to figure out what happened there. This is New Hampshire, Campbell. 10% of the vote in. Jeanne Shaheen, the former governor there. This is another way to battle of heavyweights among Senate candidates. A former governor against an incumbent senator who is the son of a former governor and the former White House chief of staff. This looks kind of bleak. You say there's not much voting, but most of the people live here. And actually, most of them live even further south. Concord, the capital, most of them live here. Let's stretch this out a little bit and look. Many of you might be familiar with this area from the Democratic primary. This is Manchester, almost 9% of the population. And this is what Jeanne Shaheen needs to win. She's running very well in this blue-collar area. This is where Hillary Clinton beat Barack Obama in the Democratic primaries. It's where the people live. You want to get them there. And one other key place is out here on the coast, Portsmouth, Democratic town out right near the coast of New Hampshire, and Jeanne Shaheen running well ahead there with about 40% of the vote in there. So the early numbers suggest the Democrats are in for a strong night in New Hampshire. We will watch because this part of the state, more rural, right. Sununu will do well up in here. The question is down here where the people live, and one of the places we haven't seen anything yet is Nashua. That's another big city in the state of New Hampshire.
Let's take a quick look at Kentucky, because this one, as Wolf pointed out, is still way too close to call. But this is a crucial seat. Mitch McConnell trying to hold on to a seat here. He is the leader of Senate Republicans, and in a year when you know the President of the United States is largely being repudiated by the vote happening tonight. John McCain is in a very tough race, and let's assume for the sake of the argument, it's a long way to go, but if McCain loses, who is the leader of the Republican Party? Well, Mitch McConnell, the Senate leader, is one of the highest-ranking Republicans in the country right now, and as you can see, he is in quite a race here. Let me erase this so you can see the numbers more clearly. This is one of these races, Obama put some money in the state. The Democrats put some money in the state because they would like to beat Mitch McConnell. It's also a place, though, where the leadership supported that financial bailout. Right. That was the thing the leadership had to do, but some voters didn't like it. In many places, you do see a bit of a backlash for people wanting to blame somebody for what has happened to their 401ks and everything else, and the uncertainty in the banking community, the uncertainty in the economy. If you're an incumbent, especially a Republican incumbent on the ballot who supported that, you're having a tougher race. And this is an interesting map when you look at it filling in. The Democrat is doing well where he needs to. Out here, when you start getting out into these rural counties, Democrats putting up some respectable numbers. We're going to be watching this one for a while. Mitch McConnell, the Senate Republican leader. If he were to lose tonight, then we would have a Democratic wave. Right. Still early. Again, the only race we've called is Mark Warner in Virginia. But as you said, things looking very good for Democrats right now in terms of the balance of power, Wolf.
Guys, thanks very much. Let me update you on these votes that are actually coming in from these battleground states, including in Florida. Almost 40% of the precincts have now reported in Florida, and Senator Obama continues to maintain his advantage, 52% to 48%. He's up by 178,000 votes in Florida. 39% of the precincts have reported. We'll walk down to North Carolina right now. 12% of the precincts have reported. Senator Obama ahead here as well, 56% to 44%. Ahead by 166,598. In Pennsylvania, it's still very early. The numbers are coming in slowly, but they'll pick up very quickly. The polls closed there at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Less than 1% are in. Only about 12,000 votes have been counted so far. 65% for Obama, 34% for McCain, a difference of 3,900. In Texas, the polls won't all, in the entire state, won't all be closed until the top of the hour, 9 p.m. Eastern. But about 3 million votes have already been counted in Texas. 51% so far for McCain, 49% for Obama, but only 1% of the precincts in Texas have been counted. We're going to continue our coverage, but first we have a projection. And this is a big one. CNN now projects Pennsylvania and its 21 electoral votes will be going for Senator Obama. This is a projection that the Obama camp desperately wanted and the McCain camp desperately tried.